All right, so I've managed to get some work done out here in the workshop, and I've gotten the rest of my recessed lights up, and I'll just kind of try and pan around here for you. But basically I got all 12 of them up and wired up, and they're all working, as you can probably see. One last one right above me, but yeah, so that makes me happy. I got all those wired up and they're all pretty much rocking, and no issues with those, except for, you know, the standard do-it-yourself issues like, oh, oops, I'm about 15 feet of wire short. But, you know, other than that, that'll happen. And so it's wrapping up that part of it, and also started wiring up some outlets, and those are going to be switched for the actual shop lights that I'm going to be using, which are going to plug into those and also be switched. I have two of them up, two of the actual lights, I should say, as well as two of the lights that I had in my old shop. Well, old shop, I mean, they're in here, obviously, but these are the two that I had hanging above my workbench in my old spare bedroom workshop. And those ones were okay, but I don't know if they'll show in the video, but yeah, there we go. You can kind of see there's kind of an alternating of like blue and then yellow and blue and yellow and blue and yellow and blue. And that's coming from the clear lenses are kind of refracting weird. And so what I did was I decided to try a pair of these frosted lenses instead. And otherwise they're the same color. They're both 5000K, and they're both, I think, 3,000 lumens. But basically the light distribution is quite a bit better. You don't really get that same effect that you do here. There's some stains and stuff on the concrete, so it's kind of hard to see, but over here is a better example. So basically it's a much more even light, and I'm fairly happy with that. So I think that's definitely going to be an upgrade over the clear lenses. But next project will be to get rid of this switch here, because I don't really like having this single gang 2-switch arrangement, because then obviously the can lights are on one switch, but the other lights are going to have to be on their own switch. So I'll be replacing that with probably 3 switches. The top one over here is actually for an override for the outside lights. So there's a motion light right outside, and that one is going to stay. So I'm going to be replacing that with 3 switches. I was originally going to do 4, so I could have these 2 outlets, this one up here, and the second one over here. I was going to try and do one half switched and the other half switched independently, but I kind of decided against that because I guess basically it was just more wire. It was more wire and more wiring, and so I wasn't quite sure. I felt like, you know, adding another switch just for the sake of having half of it, you know, controlled and the other half controlled separately. So yeah, I think I'll probably end up not going with the 4 wires that I was thinking about doing originally, and I'll just go with 3 instead, or 3 switches rather. I might still use a 4-gain box and just use a blank plate in case I ever wanted to add a switch in the future, or just to get a little bit more space to pack all those wires in there. So we'll see what happens there, but basically I went from 4 switches down to 3 just because of simplicity's sake, and it saves me probably 20 feet, 25-ish feet of wire, and a little bit of headache later on when I'm doing my switches. So basically they are done. They are just not wired in. I obviously had, you know, issues trying to get it into here. Namely, there is none. So basically I just have the wire from the outlets is just hanging there for now. So although they're all up and wired, they are not actually powered or tested because I haven't been able to. So next project will be to hopefully add that light switch box. So to get rid of the one that's there and get that 3-gang box installed and get the switches rewired. So that way I can be pretty much done with all of the ceiling outlets or ceiling power related items. And then after that, I will probably move on to wiring up all of my other outlets and trying to get all that stuff done. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to be doing or where I'm going to be running those wires, and I've thought about doing them up high or down low where they are now. I'm not exactly sure yet, but basically that'll be the next project as far as the wiring up goes. But then I'm starting to run out of things before I'm going to have to start more seriously considering doing the whole insulation and drywall thing. So that'll be fun. But that's pretty much all I've got. So until next time, I will catch you later. Oh, winter. Gotta love it. I love driving around in this stuff. So much fun. But you gotta be careful.